Chat should be live. I will now go double check to make sure that we are up and running on YouTube. Are we up and running on YouTube? That sounds right. So now we're going to boot up Twitch, make sure that's all good to go. One sec. Let me actually view the stream. Boom, we are good to go. Both of them are live. Put this back on chat only. Apply. Plunk. Now I can see stuff. Before I go into anything else for today's episode, I just want to put out there that we're now at 3 and 3. Got 3 people on Patreon, which you can follow as a free member. So you can totally go do that. And I now have 3 YouTube members as well. YouTube, you can't become, there's no free tier on YouTube, but Patreon free tier, you'll still get, you won't get access to posts that are locked behind certain tiers, but you will be notified that they are there, and anything that I post that is free and open, you will immediately get a notification for. So I'm happy it's symmetrical, if that makes sense. Like, that just makes my brain happy that it's half and half. Now, you might be confused as to why there are so many tabs open. Don't worry, it's just I've opened each page of Ancestral runes so that we can actually just zoom in and make it easy for everybody to see. I didn't do this yet. Chat is now live on Twitch. And good, I can see that, so we are good. Excuse me. Oh man, gross. Sorry. Oh, it tastes like both lunch and dinner at once. Blah, 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 blah. Shout outs to each of those people. Patreon members, Iridescensia is what I think is how you're supposed to pronounce that first person. Pedro Flores and DM Shin is a third Patreon patron. And YouTube members is DM Lacara, DM Bacon, and Burning Punch. Of those people, you guys can always find links to DM Shin's stuff on videos here and anyone that he's guest starred in. And Burning Punch, I will put a link in this video. I did not yet because I am a jerk. That's my bad, BP. I'll put a card and give you the rest of your links. That's my bad. I should have thought of that beforehand. I did have the note to give the shout outs to all the members, but I didn't think to put links in right away. But that being said, I'm going to throw in a little ad here as well. Just give me 1 second.
Hit the buttons. Do the
Please.
thing. If you have money, make the buttons give him money. If you don't have money, just hit the buttons that subscribe, and that also gets him money. So you get to feel good either way.
Yay. Alright, I've done everything I needed to do. Now OBS will stop being like, hey, you should put an ad. 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 Done. Don't gotta worry about it. Ads are in. Awesome. Now it won't bother me. And that's what I like. I like not being bothered. Ah! My phone just fell over and hit the monitor. Please don't do that. That's the last thing I need now. Another broken monitor. I have real bad luck with monitors, and that is my own fault. I'm actually ahead of the game today. I got ready early. Everything was good. I finished all the tasks I was working on before the stream was supposed to start today. That's incredibly unusual for me. Usually, I'm either having a bathroom emergency or someone's just burst into my house before I start the stream, but no, here we are today. I also will definitely say that I suspect we will not finish going through everything that I have on the docket for today, and I'm pretty sure there are some other pretty cool announcements that are going to come up, besides me just giving shout outs to all the members on YouTube and Patreon. And that being said, specifically for YouTube members, you now have access to all the notes that I've released on Patreon via Discord, because I couldn't figure out a way to link YouTube members and Patreon members. So instead, I knew there was a way to link YouTube members and Discord. If you are a YouTube member and you want access to things in the Discord, but you don't have your Discord and YouTube accounts linked, let me know. I can give you a role in the OBS Discord that serves exactly the same purpose, and it will get you access to the channels that are hidden from most people. Not all of them, obviously. My D&D game is also hidden somewhere in OBS, but it will give you access to Patreon Notes channel, and also there is a specific channel open called the Hunter Vanguard's Den, which is open to all the YouTube members so that we can chat about videos before the general population sees them, which is cool. Because most of the edited videos that I release actually come out way earlier than they go live to the public. Most of the time. I'm pretty far behind, all things considered, at the moment, but they've also changed it so that you can schedule shorts, which is super helpful to me at this point, as I'm trying to keep up with the one upload a day. I don't know if I'm going to beat my last record, which was, I think, 4 months of an upload every day. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but I'm pretty sure I can stick to it pretty well. Everybody's here. Hello. It didn't even make a noise. Come on, Discord.
I've been lurking for a minute.
I just snuck in, but
Hi.
I think this is the first time I've beat you in, Shin.
it is. It actually is. This is a monumental day.
And I missed it. Dang it, Discord.
I got defeated. I got defeated by the time guy. I blame my cats. They
Yo, your
decided to be
cat was
extra needy at
super
the last
loud
second.
after DM Roundtable
Oh.
last week.
Oh, that's Yomi. And he has nothing but help me cries. There's nothing wrong. He just wants help.
It's just general disturbance.
Something in the force has bothered him, and he must let me know as his father. He is like, Father, come quickly.
Something is wrong.
I cannot tell you what or where, but I can tell you there's definitely something afoot.
I know this probably isn't the case, but in my head, I just imagine, like, you know when cats like get on their hind legs and they stretch their paws out high for like uppies? That's what I'm seeing in my head every time he's loud. Hey!
He's
Father!
just standing at full attention, screaming at me.
I feel like this is something that is like a divide in nerddom now that like I feel was not a thing before between like dog and cat people, where like the majority of known nerddom now is like solidly in the cat camp.
See, I live happily in I like all furry animals. I have cats.
But it's not anything against dogs.
No, it's nothing against dogs at all. It's just right now I have cats and I prefer them. I am a proud cat dad. And I know that Okami loves cats deep down in his heart.
Not sure about that.
Cats like me, I guess.
I know.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, Okami and I are in the camp of too much like a cat to like cats.
Mm,
Oh, I'm
fair.
golden retriever. I don't have
Yeah, you
cat
are.
energy.
You have that that one dorky cat that thinks it's a dog energy.
Oh,
I think
like
you have Yomi energy.
I can't think of what that cat's name is. There's a black and white cat, and his brothers and sisters are all huskies, and he sits like them.
Oh,
I
I've
cannot
seen
think
him
of his
on
name.
Instagram.
Yeah,
I've
Yep.
yeah,
seen
yeah.
this
I cannot think of his name.
But yes, that would be you. It's also fitting for your family.
Yeah.
Although I feel like you would be the one husky in the family of cats.
Ooh.
The inverse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That is 100% accurate. 100% accurate.
Hey, why are you guys all weird?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Why aren't you just happy and energetic all the time?
They're like, what is wrong with this one? Should we tell him? Don't tell him. He'll figure it out one day, I hope.
One day. Wait a minute. Just one day looking in the mirror, looking at a family photo. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's Heifer in Rocco's Modern Life, where you realize that they've been raising their dinner for like the longest time. And like that's the weird running joke that he's a cow raised by wolves, and they just look at him like they've got him to eat meat and think he's a wolf and everything's normal.
They just don't make cartoons like they used to.
I don't think they legally can. I don't think they can legally remake Ren and
definitely some of
Stimpy.
that.
Like there's certain things they just can't get away with anymore. You had to be there to see it.
I've been sharing the joy of Tom and Jerry with my little monster and like the real old ones. And I'm like, wow, so much of this show would never exist now. And that's a shame.
Like the pure violence that they commit on like not even the accident, the atrocities they commit that violate Geneva Convention sanctions.
Yep.
Are wide and vast. Like but you watch it and you just go, oh, he got blown up by a stick of dynamite in a house full of gas. Crazy.
Yeah. But also there's that component of like at this point, like 3 generations at least have grown up watching Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Nobody ever worried that like Johnny is gonna try to blow somebody up with a stick of dynamite. Like that wasn't a concern.
I think that's the beauty of cartoons back then. We saw the absurdity of it. Thus we realized that it wasn't going to work in real life.
Yeah, so you didn't need to be told, don't try this at home.
Mm-hmm. Like somehow seeing it satisfy our urge, if we ever were to have one, to ever commit that act. It was like, oh, that's what would happen. Yeah. Good to know. No need to find this out in real. And of course, there's always outliers. Obviously, the world is always going to have you always have an error of margin in any experiment. And the error of margin is quite scary. In a lot of cases.
Right.
But
you're gonna have that regardless.
I think of a comedian. This is going back to like when I was a kid, but he told a joke about like, and it was around like the post-Columbine like school shooting stuff, where they were blaming Doom, the video game, and he said, I've played Mario for years, and I never thought that if I jump on somebody's head, a coin is going to pop out of their ass. And it's true. It's absolutely true. Like if you have to be told, hey, this is a work of fiction, if
you have bigger
that
problems.
statement offends you, stop watching if any statement about this, like where we talk about Steve being strapped to someone's chest as a magical being, if you believe you should strap a Steve to your chest in real life, stop watching this podcast. Stop watching.
Or if you're afraid that we are egging people on to strap Steves to their chest, please leave now.
We are not. We do not promote any slapping of real life Steves to anybody's chest for any form of gladiatorial combat and or portals of sludge.
However,
Yep.
I will say, if you can strap a whole nother human being to your chest and still move around, I'm impressed.
I think they make those for babies.
Yeah.
I think that's called a snuggly.
Baby Bjorn!
Oh, speaking of, I forgot to share Steve.
Oh.
We might actually have some merch coming down the line.
Folks, you hear that? Merch, you say?
Merch.
I'm actually kind of scared.
Can I just...
Steve!
No, not this window, stupid. Why did you open in the wrong window? Strap to your chest. Once a week, your Bastion can strap this strapping young lad to your chest. That's what's taking the damage for you, you absolute monsters.
If you allow someone to slap Steve to their chest and go to battle, we the Roundtable will summon ourselves into your game and throw you in the demi-plane of sludge. Grimbo, you don't want a Bastion. You want to survive.
Grimbo
You want Steve to survive.
came up with, he was like, Bastions sound really cool. It's like you've trapped some otherworldly being inside your house. And I was like, yeah, I mean, kind of, because the house is alive and it does whatever it wants, really.
Can we edit the Bastion event table? Can we up the ante on the Bastion event table? I feel like it needs an ante up.
I have to find
It needs help, definitely.
Here we go. Also, previous one, perfection. Mwah. Victorian orphan magic.
I'm having way too much fun designing.
This is amazing. We just have to find a way to distribute them, and they can be yours.
I think you just need to set up like a Redbubble shop or something.
Yeah. Victorian orphan magic. I need this. This is what I need in my inventory.
Literally
yeah, I think I might
today,
need this one.
my sister was like, "So, if you're gonna make merch, obviously it's gonna go in Redbubble," and I was like, maybe.
Is it?
I mean, that is one way to do it. I hadn't thought specifically of Redbubble, but I mean, probably.
Well, didn't you say she has a Redbubble store?
She does. I wish that I could tell you guys how to get to her Redbubble store, but I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Like, does she design stuff, or is it for like a company or something?
She's an amateur photographer, so like all of her photos go up on Redbubble.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Oh, nifty.
I will find that link and put it in the description.
Yeah.
I should know this, but I don't. She's also not...
To be fair, she probably never told you.
Yeah, the way my sister describes things, it's not like me when I'm like, hey, can you use my Amazon affiliate link and I send it to you? She'll just be like, I have so many designs on Redbubble, you should look at them. But she will never tell you how to find them.
Pops in the chat. So everyone should check out my merch. Leaves no link, leaves the chat.
Yeah, that's my sister.
Like, what? Huh? Who is this
I would
phantom
click
that
if I
requires
knew.
my money?
Yeah. It's like some sort of weird reverse phishing. Like, you have to find her.
Like, it drives you so crazy by the time you get to her site, you have to buy something.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're like, I hate this site. I'm buying something so I never have to come here again. It's like, okay.
It's called
Good.
reverse marketing.
Yeah, what kind of
Reverse
psycho math is
marketing.
this?
It's the same as those stupid mobile game ads when apparently it's rage baiting when they show the person playing being so bad at it that you have to go download it to be like, this guy sucks.
My favorite is now they have real actors in their commercials talking, and
That
I'm not
freaks me
convinced
out.
they're not AI.
I love that Anthony Starr is doing those commercials with his American
God.
accent.
Oh my god.
That's not even how you sound, bro.
It's so good.
Okay, so that has to be AI then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really freaked out for a while because I was getting these ones with like the actors from Suits, and I'm like, I don't feel like these guys are hurting this bet for money.
Oh, I haven't even seen those.
T-Mobile brought them back for a bit.
Oh,
Ironically,
yeah.
They brought them back because they are making a Suits spinoff.
Oh god.
Yeah, because no one put that on their bingo card.
I mean, spin off of what?
Another office led by. Hold on.
Oh,
I
are
gotta
they
find it.
following? Are they following Zoe out in Chicago?
I'm
No,
so
I think
happy
they're
you
going to-
said Zoe because like
they're going to Cali.
I don't know her real
Look,
name and I don't know
She
her character's name in Suits. She'll just always be Zoe.
Oh
she will
It-
always be Zoe.
no, we are going to Suits. We're going to L.A. We're getting Stephen Amell and Josh McDermott to lead a new law firm because
Why?
Stephen Amell has only failed this city. So
I
it is now
see what you
time
did
for
there.
him to become a lawyer in LA.
Ugh.
It's Stephen Amell and apparently, according to this, Victoria Justice.
Interesting choices.
That sounds like a really bad Marvel character. Who the hell is Victoria Justice?
She had a
Nickelodeon
career.
show.
Yeah, she was a Nickelodeon kid turned actor. She was on her show was the reason Ariana Grande got time on television.
I do not know any of the people.
I was gonna say I feel like you just said names that mean
I
nothing
did.
to DM Lacara.
I forgot. I forgot about DM Lacara's special spell, which is what is this?
Dungeon Defenders 1 gets a new update twice a week, which is insane. The game is now like 15 years old. Insane.
Oh, my goodness. But I feel like we should get to the bulk of things, shouldn't we?
Probably. I will say, again, I'm just going to reiterate, I don't know if we're going to get to the last thing today because it is a lot, and I feel like we're going to talk a lot about these runes because we were talking about runology before, where the creators didn't, they just forgot what runes are halfway through, and instead they created Victorian orphan magic.
Pure Victorian orphan magic.
So I found TheArenaGuy / SpectreCreations. A couple of years ago, he was doing a thing where he would make up runes that are specific to languages, and like they're sort of passed down through the lineage of creatures that speak those languages that you can apply to your items, or they kind of work like spells. But I think the impetus for it were the giant runes that are never explained. So in my campaign specifically, the way that I implemented giant runes is like this, which somebody fleshed this out because they do describe in like the first 4 books that were released for 5e, they say giant runes exist. And they give you a picture of all of them, don't tell you what any of them do. And even in the book itself, they're like, oh yeah, if you figure out these runes, maybe there's a giant that can tell you how to use them, but we're not gonna. So this guy came up with a good system where if you know the rune and you have some requirement for it, you can apply this rune to a weapon or an armor, and it has a different effect based on what it's applied to. So I'm using these in my campaign, but these are kind of the same idea, except the rune only does one thing. So if I were to use these, like Grimbo, if we use these based on like things that you pass down through your lineage, we would have to work on if they're attaching to armor or weapons. We would have to define a second usage of them. And if then, because giant magic is supposed to be ancient, and they've passed it down like all the way from the War of the Dragons to the present. So these would also be things that would have to have been passed down through your lineage from like way back. So
this is really cool.
So I'm going to share it. I put it in our chat. I didn't put it in Twitch chat yet. So for those of you on YouTube, you can open it up the description, click along, follow with us. For those of you on Twitch, I'm going to share a link, and I'll pin it for the next 30 minutes. So if you come in a little later, you'll still see it. So come on and join us. The weird thing is that the way that SpectreCreations / TheArenaGuy wrote them up is he shows you all of them, and then he tells you at the end how they're supposed to work, which is silly, but okay. So we'll worry about how they work later. We'll talk about them now. And I will make them as big as possible.
I'm scared. I am scared, but...
Here, read us the first one, DM Shin.
Well, if I'm reading this correctly, we're going to start off with Acuity, an infernal rune that can transfer to any weapon. And the creature who transfers this rune to a weapon chooses either intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. And when you make an attack with the weapon, you can use the chosen ability instead of strength or dex for attack and damage rolls. The curse is that when you score a critical hit with the weapon, you take psychic damage equal to the ability modifier used for your attack. This is actually kind of dope for an additional buff to like your interesting paladin warlock, or with the current 5e rules, with 2024 5e rules where you're making a super meta build. But even in older editions, giving that tiefling warlock who went Hexblade that extra damage now, that's really dope.
That's what
I know they get it naturally, but I think they get some kind of bonus too. No, they get the bonus too naturally, but to kind of have even more power added to it, I feel is really cool. So
you've got a Hexblade who's like on the outs with their patron. The Hexblade gets taken away, so they track down a giant or somebody that uses the runes to like make them this weapon instead.
And I think this also gives you the ability to take classes that don't normally get to do this and slap a forge cleric who now can use his wisdom to swing his warhammer, or a druid who decided that he wanted to be a little more ranger like and all of a sudden turns to like buffing his bow with wisdom damage on long ranges.
Yeah,
this starts to become really cool.
The curse aspect of it, none of the giant runes that I looked at had like a curse aspect to it, but this is kind of like a, even if like specifically if you're a warlock or you're trying to make a deal with a devil or a demon, and they're like, I'll give you power, and you don't know that this rune gives you the psychic damage. Like just the first time you get that crit, and you're like, Gah! And then you I was gonna say you shake your fist at the sky, but you're probably shaking your fist at the earth instead. Yeah. I think this is a super cool thing. You just gotta be a little tweaked, at least for my world. For those of you in your own worlds, if you haven't used runestones or runes in any way or function, you can use them right off the bat like this. But for me, I'm gonna have to, if it says it transfers to a weapon, I'm gonna have to make an armor version that does something. They're not even necessarily that similar, but just that it has one or the other ish.
I kind of like the ability to only attach to one. Just if I were to use something like this in my own world, I think the idea that your runes kind of shape the way the language you understand it from would use it.
Mm.
I think it kind of adds like a cool little lore. Like the Infernal only wanted to build stronger weapons. So naturally the acuity can only be attached to a weapon because they didn't care about armor. You know, the best defense is a good offense kind of idea. Or maybe like a dwarf or like a celestial might bind to an armor and give you a bonus that way because they felt that they need to protect people. Like I feel like you could work that in there, having it being unique to a specific item type.
And like you said, like they're only worried about them dealing damage. They don't care about themselves, so they like worked this rune magic in to make sure that, like, oh, I'll do more damage, but it may come at a cost.
Yeah, but you're prepared to take that cost. I like that idea.
That too. All right, DM Lacara, would you like to take up the next one?
What do we got?
Sure. What is the next one? I don't actually have the link open.
Next one is Reinforce.
Here we go.
I think. Let me make sure I'm in the
I'll
right
be there
order.
in a second. There we go. Reinforce.
Okay.
It's a draconic rune. Rare, very rare, or legendary transfers to any handheld object. Over the course of 1 minute, you can activate this rune to bolster your innate defenses for 1 hour. For the duration when you aren't wearing armor, you gain a bonus to AC as determined by the rune's rarity. If you have a feature that grants you a way to calculate your AC while not wearing armor, such as unarmored defense, you gain this bonus in addition to that AC.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So I'm thinking, like, if you're a Dragonborn monk, it's like your bracers. You've drawn the rune into your bracers for when you're fight.
Let's say a handheld object, though.
That is a strange choice.
But I think it's to say anything you could keep on your person. Like, it might be a strange way of saying, like, some kind of...
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So, like, it doesn't have to be a weapon. But it has to be handhold. Like, it couldn't be armor or pants because you wouldn't hold that in your hand. It has to be something that you would grip to activate. So maybe
that's what I'm thinking, like
an
the
arcane focus.
Staff.
Yeah, a quarterstaff, an arcane focus kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean that's nice. I feel like it's less powerful than the previous one. Like, even at the higher rarity.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice, but you're talking about very rare being the equivalent of picking up a shield.
Yeah, there is definitely some aspect to it that is a little underwhelming in that aspect.
I would have anticipated it being like advantage on saving throws or something.
Oh. I just realized what you meant about the last one, Shin, that if you're doing the new rules, because you're probably going to have like a +8 or +9 in the new rules. Now I understand what you're saying, and this one would be weaker in comparison for sure. But I also feel like there's less ways to build up your AC than there are to build up other modifiers in general.
Sure. Yeah, it's pretty much armor, shield. There are a couple spells that do it.
But they're mostly utility, and at best, the most common one is like a mage armor, or some equivalent of that.
Yeah.
Shield.
Yeah, shield.
Usually it's like a quick thing instead of just keeping it forever.
High-level wizards are usually using stuff like mirror image.
Mm.
preventing them from not necessarily having to worry about what happens if they get hit, but more along the lines of not being available to be hit.
Yeah, blink.
Blink, blur,
Yeah.
all that good
Yeah.
stuff.
Misty step.
Misty Step's another good one.
It's not blur, or mirror image. What's the one that makes the 3 clones of you? Maybe it is mirror image.
It is
It
mirror
is
image.
mirror image.
Yeah. Mirror image and blur? Oh, I did that to my players a couple sessions ago. I made a guy who was using mirror image and blur. So nice.
Ooh.
They hate it, but it's so funny.
Oh, I can imagine they do. Because once mirror image comes out, you realize that everything you thought you knew about the game has officially changed. You're like, wait,
Mm-hmm.
what do you mean I just can't touch you? It's like, oh yeah. Yeah, I just don't exist to you.
And I introduced some NPCs that used the homebrew class that was like a dancer sort of thing, but when they dance, they basically have a simulation of mirror image, but they can also like pop their clones while they're dancing to make them sort of like explode in a little radius. That's also a cool
Ooh.
idea.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's actually really cool.
For those of you that are reading Patreon notes and stuff, that's the kind of stuff I want to share with you guys. But it's stuff I already went over before we even started DM Roundtable. But maybe we'll start writing up some little adventures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The crazy though, I wonder, since you bring that up, how would people ever get to that? I mean, there has to be something we could tell them that would just inform them on how to be able to assist you, Okami, in the best way possible. DM Lacara, what do you think?
I think it can best be summed up as hit the buttons. If you
We will dance around how we get here every time, but goddamn, we're getting here.
we will get here. Hit the buttons. If you have money, hit the buttons that give Okami money. If you do not have money, hit the buttons to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Because indirectly, those also give Okami money. So you get to feel good about yourself either way. And we get to keep coming here and helping Okami avoid the demi-plane of sludge.
No one
Yay!
wants him to go back to the demi-plane of sludge. You have to understand the severity of this place. And we won't take you there ourselves if you happen to get on our nerves.
Or if you make a bastion, when you get to level 17, we might just show up.
Oh, we'll definitely just pop in. You having fun? Oh, excuse me. You just open a door. It's just 3 of us sitting at a round table. Like,
Yep.
Have a seat.
And the demi-plane of sludge is placed exactly half height.
Oh.
So you always feel like you're about to walk into it.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Good times.
We will purposely install a viewing mirror at perfect chest height and up in your bathroom, so no matter where you go, you think you're half in the demi-plane of sludge. Just to remind you where you could be.
Diabolical.
So hit the buttons and avoid the demi-plane of sludge.
It's not a threat, it's a promise.
All right. What's next? Oh, Sylvan! Yay! All right,
We get to do some Sylvan. Okay.
Oh, this one. Okay, this is a stranger one. I do remember reading this and being like, So this one's Sight. You need to know Sylvan and presumably be able to write it in, for lack of a better term, script of that language. But this one's uncommon, and it transfers to 2 pieces of headwear. So as an action, you can activate this rune to see through the eyes of a creature wearing another object this rune was transferred to. So if you want to be that, there's a bunch of feats I have in the repository already that are like, oh, if you want to be that blind archer, that blind fighter guy, you can basically connect to another animal. This is kind of like that, so that they can be your eyes while you're in combat. But this one is, if that creature happens to be on a different plane of existence than you, the effect fails, and it ends early if the creature travels to one while this effect is active. But you continue to see through that creature's eyes until either you or the creature are no longer wearing the object that bears the rune, or until your concentration ends, as if concentrating on a spell. So if you are sending someone in, like as a scout or some kind of creature in as a scout, potentially if they get hit or you get hit, there's a chance you lose the connection. But while perceiving through another creature in this way, it knows you're doing this. It's not like you can take over their eyes and then be like, what the hell? Why do I feel like I'm walking through? Who's sharing my vision? You gain the benefits of any special senses they possess, but you're blinded to your own surroundings. So this is a cool, like, if for some reason you're some type of fey creature that doesn't have dark vision, or you're underground now and someone else in your group has tremor sense or dark vision, you can put the thing on them and like hold on to them and they walk, and you only need one set of eyes for this.
I also
like.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Shin.
No, you go first. You go first.
I like that it's any special senses. Like, so that means if you're like trying to track something and you're a ranger and you have this on, your dog's armor or whatever, like, or your wolf or whatever your animal companion is, you can smell what they're smelling.
And vice versa, hunter's mark is now in their eyesight too.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
I was thinking about that as well, in the sense that you almost gain familiar sight, like a warlock would with a chain, with the pact of the chain.
Yeah.
But it's enhanced because it doesn't require any kind of weird pack. It literally just requires an additional creature that you can put headgear. You mentioned the pet, but any kind of pet, even a wild-shaped druid. Imagine sharing the hunter's sight between a ranger and a wild-shaped druid as a bird hunting somebody.
God.
Oh, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. They'll never escape.
Yep.
The camera's not on. You can't see me looking around shifty-eyed and smirking, but like that's a perfect combo. Ranger and wild-shaped druid. Boom with this.
That's the kind of thing that makes a DM second guess their choices.
As a DM, I both love getting my choices second guessed and encountering. I've had moments where my players almost find a way to break it.
Yep.
And they don't succeed, but it's brought me so close to their moment that I'm just like, oh, I need to change this for next time. Oh, they got they got way too close to that. Wait a minute. Like, I'm proud of them, but at the same time, no, not yet.
Oh my god. Last session, I had been doing my first like one shot that I had grabbed off of like drive-through-RPG with my party. And it's this house that like you're going through clearing out, like, there's a couple mimics in one room, there's some like automata in another room, like pretty low level monsters. But if you don't play the game right, like if you don't figure out what's in the basement, there's an Oni in the basement.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And yeah.
Okay. The plot thickened very quickly. Go on.
And the party had failed every single check going through the entire mansion that would have let them figure out what was in the basement and let them avoid it.
Oh,
no. I was sweating bullets.
Oh.
At the very, very last second, literally, as my husband, the bard, who thinks he's bulletproof, is literally about to sprint down the stairs into the basement. by himself
Oh
and get
no!
one shot by this Oni.
Just literally obliterated on the spot. Like, hey, how
Yeah.
you doing?
He had 1 health at the time.
Also,
Our-
he's child-sized. That's like an
Yeah,
Oni's
he's
favorite
child
meal.
Yeah. He is a young gnome and he had 1 HP left. And
He
he's
wanted to die.
at the literal last second, our cleric is like, "Oh, what's over here?" And like discovers the thing that brings in the ally that just banishes the Oni instead of them having to fight it.
My god.
Oh, also, new banishment. They changed the way banishment works. Stupid. I just throwing
Mhm.
that. Stupid.
Oh.
I know. It's terrible.
Oh.
They changed so many spells that like I'm only realizing they've changed because if you search for spells on D&D Beyond, it brings up the new ones instead of the old ones first, and I'll click it and be like, this is wrong. And then I'll look up and be like, you son of a, take me back to Legacy. This is bullshit.
Oh, I find myself thoroughly upset at random times if I go through those through the new spell list. Like I want to deactivate. I've never wanted to deactivate 2024 so quickly in my life.
Oh, speaking of that, for those of you out there who do make homebrew content on D&D Beyond, which is pretty much everyone because you need to in order to make your game work.
Well, we'll see how long that lasts since they fired one of the best people for the community.
If you want to if you want to lock things to classes on D&D Beyond now, you have to make sure to select both the new and the legacy version. If you just write sorcerer, it will only be one of the two. So people who are using new stats won't see it if it's locked to the old one, and vice versa. You actually have to write sorcerer twice. You just have to make sure that one is new and one is old, and the same for all the other classes, which really confused me while I was testing things this week.
Imagine if sorcerer just applied to the sorcerer,
right?
Of any kind.
That doesn't sound like it would be hard.
Right? It
Like
has
I
the
feel like
same
they
name.
put more work into separating them as different like labels in their system, like to create 2 different entries in their system as sorcerer and specifically label them legacy. They did too much work.
The worst part is when you look at the tags, it doesn't show you which is regular, which is legacy. It just says sorcerer. So like I made a spell that was going to be for warlocks and sorcerers, and it just when you look at the tags, it now says sorcerer, sorcerer, warlock, warlock.
What do you mean it doesn't
That's
tell
just
you?
poor database management.
Yeah, it will show you in the drop-down list, but it won't show you in the tags.
I didn't think such inefficiency was possible outside of certain places, but it is clear to me that there is a sickness.
And that was our D&D Beyond rant for the week. We met our quota. Check.
We did.
That needs to be broken out as its own chapter.
Yeah. A little hate on Watsy keeps the heart healthy.
So instead, let's go look at some more runes. Yay. Oh, this one's
Let's
perfect
do
for you,
it.
DM Shin. It's Druidic.
Well, going to my good friends, the Druids, you can gain Stride. It's very rare, and this attaches to any cape, cloak, or backwear. As an action, you can activate this rune to cast the Tree Stride spell. For the duration, your speed increases by 10 feet, and non-magical difficult terrain costs you no extra movement. Once activated, you can't use it again. A creature that can speak Druidic and activates this rune gains the following additional benefits. You can cast the spell without any somatic or verbal. Doesn't require concentration, lasts the full duration or until you choose to end it early. As a bonus action, on each of your turns, you can choose one other creature you see within 30 feet. And until the next turn, they can magically move through any tree you do during this spell, as if by the tree stride spell. Okay. In a combat-centric world where all you care about is buffing damage, this spell means nothing. But the context you get to slap on to a character using this to literally battle in a forest or enemies fighting in a forest is amazing.
Also,
not to mention, imagine fighting Trents with stride on. You're passing through them and slicing through. Oh, come on.
Also,
You're
the
fighting
implication
them, you run
here
up the tree.
is that you don't even have to speak Druidic. Like, this could be passed down through your family line, and then someone else teaches you what it really means, and you get those powers. It's like a thing that levels up with you. That's so cool. This could never happen in 2024 rules.
No, of course not. This requires a campaign that wants to do things. Not 2024 where it's just like hit level 20. That's the only thing you want to do. I'm sorry. We had a little extra WotC hate today, didn't we?
A little bit. This is...
Don't we always?
I love this. This is fantastic.
Yeah. I love the ability and the implications this gives in a game world. And like you said, like you did mention, because it can be passed down, it literally means that you can play so much into, let's say, if the ranger has this, because they gain the ability to speak Druidic later on. Or you could flavor that in there for your player if you want to, thus allowing them to understand what was left behind. Boom, narrative story point.
Or like someone in your family way back when, was it? Maybe you were all druids, but now you live in the big city and there's no reason for you to be a druid, but you still might have little words here and there. Oh, flavor.
Can't get that anywhere else.
Yummy. I like that. I like this one. I was also thinking, there's a homebrew class called the Weave Knight, which is kind of like a Spellblade from previous editions. But one of their cantrips specifically is that they basically, when they swing their weapon, they displace the tip of it somewhere else. So it makes your melee attacks ranged in a way. And I was like, stride, if you wrote the rune on a weapon, maybe like you can stab something that is naturally occurring and have it pop out somewhere else close. That could be cool if I were to transfer it to my kind of rune stuff. I don't know how I would do the extra port, but the first part would make sense.
All I'm picturing is some rogue holding a house plant in one hand.
He's like, I don't know what you think I'm going to do with this, but you're not going to like the outcome, huh?
What? Ow!
You're like in an arboretum. He's holding out a plant. Don't move. And you're like, what? You're going to kill the plants? Okay. And stop!
It's just like, hey, DM, why are you rolling that many D6s? Oh, backstab damage, huh? Oh, God, what the? Ow. Oh, that's great. I now want to backstab a player with a tree. It is now on my DM bucket list. Backstab player while hiding in a tree.
That's good stuff. I like this one. So far, this is my favorite one.
Oh yeah.
This is just a fun batch. Most of these have been good.
Oh yeah.
I also just realized, based on on the original post, blah 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 blah. I didn't realize this, but Masters of the Gauntlet releases a new, basically a supplement every month. I didn't know that it's the Arena Guy and SpectreCreations. I have access to it from one of the Kickstarters I'm doing. They gave us like a 2-year subscription to Masters of the Gauntlet. I had no idea it was the same people.
That's actually super dope.
I was like, you make good stuff, man.
Little surprises.
So what's next? Ooh, a Dwarvish. Want to take
Well,
this
DM
one?
Lacara, tell us all about it.
Okay. Comprehend. Uncommon. While holding a spellcasting... Oh, transfers to any spellcasting focus. While holding a spellcasting focus that bears this rune, you can activate the rune as an action for the next 10 minutes, or until it's activated again. You can understand the literal meaning. That leaves some fun stuff to do. The
Ooh.
literal meaning of one written language of your choice, but you must be touching the surface on which the words are written while reading it. The effect doesn't decode secret messages in a text or a glyph, such as an arcane sigil, that isn't part of a written language. Once activated, roll a d6. On a roll of 2 or lower, so 1 or 2,
Yeah.
the rune can't be used again until the next dawn.
That's a weird choice. None of the other ones have a chance to not work again, or like more than one chance and then a chance not to. It's almost like comprehend languages, but
Yeah.
slightly worse. Though,
But only one, yeah.
yeah, like if you stone cutting doesn't exist in 2024 rules, but this is amazing for original dwarves in 2014. If you pair this up with stone, like somebody's like, oh my god, look at this architecture. Do you know how long it took someone to make sure that these stones were hewn in this manner? I have to read who this artist was.
Yeah, that could be fun to play around with.
I mean, only if it's carved with that information.
True.
They're just
true,
like,
true.
there's feeling all the walls, like, where is the words? Show me the words.
There's fun to be had there.
I don't know if I would add the has a chance to not be used again that day. I would just leave it as once per day then. But rolling dice is fun. I understand that portion of it. But yeah, you're right. The literal meaning part.
What does this mean? Duck. Huh? Well, you asked. What does duck mean?
Three
Could mean
men
anything.
sitting on a bench in the daylight. What? Huh?
3 men sitting on the bench in the daylight. Yes.
All I'm picturing is like some dwarf reads it, and the carving that they're like trying to decipher is like an elvish poem. I have no clue what's happening.
Is
Blackbird
this
singing in the
beauty?
Blackbird singing in the dead of night? What is he talking about?
Why would you take the time to carve this into stone?
I can.
Oh, you know what? If you really wanted to mess with your players, you have someone read it in Dwarven, and like because it's written in like several different languages, they can only read one part, and it's a Rickroll, and they just read "Never gonna give you up." Just leave your party sitting there for 5 minutes, wondering if you really just Rickrolled them. I would do that to my players.
I love this.
Oh yeah, you gotta work some like synonyms in, so like, you know, never abandon you.
Yeah.
Never disappoint you.
It's like it's an oath. It's an oath to his friends. I take this oath to say, I shall never leave thy side.
Oh my god. I wonder if anyone's done that before.
I did something similar on Discord. I think it's still up there. I turned the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air intro. I started to turn it into like old English, like Shakespearean written. Because I was just bored one day.
Listen, you have
Oh, that's amazing.
the things you think about when you're like making characters and stuff. Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking of like a weird guy in like a bardic way, and I wanted him to be very like poetic. And I came up with, from Western Philadelphia I hail, where in my youth I'd play upon the green till rue the day I found myself assailed by ruffians. Rings. And I also love What We Do in the Shadows, so I just read it in Max voice at all times.
So sad it's coming to an end.
Don't remind me. I haven't prepared my tears yet.
If you like funny vampires, go watch the show. Okay. If you like Taika Waititi at all, you'll enjoy the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like all of those things.
Oh yeah, you'll like the show then.
You'll love it. Taika was in the movie that came out before the show, and he does pop up every once in a while.
Oh, you made it sound like he was going to be like in it.
He's one of the main characters in the movie. He's one of the original 3, but these guys are what? They're not in New York. I don't know where they are, but they're somewhere in the States.
They move around a little bit. There's like a little bit of movement at one point, but when you watch it, you'll appreciate every second. Because even when the end of the first season has probably one of the greatest jokes that is summed up that you've seen in like Hollywood movies for years. That's the best way I can put it.
Cool.
All right. What's our next word?
Said,
oh, it is Elvish. I was gonna say there has to be something in here that is Elvish.
What do the elves get?
Elves learn Restore. It's rare and it transfers to any bracer, gauntlet, glove, or similar armware. That is very specific, but I guess it makes sense because you gotta like touch. As an action, you can activate this rune to cast a lesser restoration spell. Depending on the level of the creature that activates the rune. Ooh, yes, abilities that level up with your character. Casting the spell in this way grants the following additional benefits. Starting at 5th level, target also regains hit points equal to your level. Okay. Starting at 11th level, the condition you end as part of the spell can also be either charmed or frightened. Okay. And starting at 17th level, the spell ends all diseases and conditions afflicting the target that it is capable of ending. Once activated, this rune can't be used again until the next dawn. So it's kind of like giving someone of Elvish descent lay on hands. Old lay on hands. New lay on hands. Yes, it's a bonus action. That's great. Yeah. That it needed to be a bonus action, but it loses like all of its other bonus abilities, which is garbage.
It loses all of its other features and function.
Yeah.
Watsy, you make such poor decisions.
I think this would be so good for flavor-wise if you're playing a half-elf and your elven parent teaches you this rune and puts it on something before you go out into the world.
No.
I like that.
And they're like,
I like that idea.
We won't always be there to protect you, but as you grow and experience, so too will like your grip on our language, that kind of thing. Like, oh, this could be so cool.
Yeah, this lends to a lot of cool ideas. I think this lends to a lot of fun with backstory. And it also kind of takes away it's like a weird adage, at least I've always seen in like any kind of RPG game, that elves don't heal things. Like it kind of puts that back in perspective. It kind of gives us like the Lord of the Rings feeling, where like the elves are just that powerful, that their old language was known for healing and creation too, bringing it kind of back to nature. I love all this. Give back the nature to the elves that aren't just wood elves, at least.
Oh my god.
Who says elves don't heal things?
I'm thinking they're all about nature. They're just green
Well,
to me.
a lot of times, I think because it says elvish and it doesn't specify wood elves versus, because there's always that weird distinction now of how elves are. Most times, especially 2024, it puts this idea that elves cast offensive magic.
I think there's
Or you shoot
also
bows.
like
Not based in anything.
like Grimbo's
Oh, it's not.
I think take on elves would clearly be the kind that like they're so old that everything they have like already exists and they're just like waiting for their time to end. I feel like that kind of thing I see more often. Where like they're just like the last ones left and they're not really trying to fix their situation. They're just waiting for the end. They've been here long enough kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah, 1000%. That's usually how it's kind of portrayed in fantasy media right now, at least. In a lot of fantasy media that is, I would call more mainstream, that's the way they're presented. I like that this gives back to the fact that the elves are magical. What that entails is magic, and however that wants to work.
Mhm.
Like, I like that, bringing that back.
I have no idea what I would give restore on a weapon to. Interesting. Puts blood back in your body. It collects blood during the day, and you can restore hit points to someone at the end.
It's like, get back in
your
there.
blood type.
Oh, it's just stabbing people. It's like, wrong blood type. Can't use you. Like, huh? Pretty sure this.
Darn it! Why are there no O-negative orcs? Come on.
What's going on around here? Huh?
All right, I think there's one more, and then the table on how they work, which is there's so many things we've come across that people have. The way they've chosen to display them is so backwards.
Mm.
Ooh, who wants to take Carnage?
I don't mind trying out Carnage because this seems violent. But I actually want to split Carnage. So I think I'll start us off and I'll let you guys do the table.
Okay. I don't know why my voice
Carnage
cracked. Went through puberty again, sorry.
Carnage is an abyssal rune. Extremely rare. Oh my goodness gracious. There we go. While holding a weapon that bears this rune, you can activate the rune as a bonus action to become a conduit of destruction for a minute. For the duration, whenever you kill a humanoid with the weapon, its corpse explodes.
Oh, you didn't read ahead, Shin.
In addition, once on each of your turns, when you hit a creature with the weapon, you can choose to roll on the table below, adding the corresponding effect. DM Lacara, could you start us off with the effects?
Sure. If you roll a 1, the target and each creature within 10 feet of it takes 1d10 fire damage. If you roll a 2, the target takes an extra 2d8 necrotic damage, and you gain temporary HP equal to half the extra necrotic damage dealt. Okami, do you want to do the other half of the table?
Oh, sure. Finally, someone who uses arc in the right way. The target takes 3d6 lightning damage, which then arcs toward up to 3 other creatures of your choice within 30 feet. These creatures must make a DC 15 Dex save, taking the same amount of lightning damage on a failed save or half as much damage on a successful one. And finally, if you roll a 4, you can make another attack with the weapon as part of the same action. You have advantage on the roll, and it's a crit if you get a 19 or a 20. This is like the Frenzy ability, but on roids.
But here's the thing. What this says is that its duration is for a minute, right?
hmm
So
That's like an entire fight.
yeah.
10 turns. If you have multi-attack, this is happening once more. Well, you could do it once. So any of these can happen 10 times.
But the crazy thing is with multi-attack, right? If you hit the 4, you get to strike again. And in most cases, like I'm just imagining you're jumping whatever creature is nearby. You're literally jumping these creatures and taking their lunch money. This is not a fair fight for Carnage. This is no longer a fight, it is an execution. I'm for it. But I also can imagine that players who get hit by this, oh man.
Yeah, they're gonna be angry.
Oh,
What
they're
do you
gonna
mean I'm
be
taking all this extra damage?
livid.
Ow, what do you mean I blew up my party members because I was standing too close to them?
Yeah, exactly what I said.
I have 2 comments on it.
Go on.
One is the corpse only explodes if you kill a humanoid, and we all know how frustratingly few monsters are humanoids.
Yeah. This is
True.
So that's
definitely
annoying.
anti-party.
And also it doesn't.
It doesn't
I
describe
mean, I guess the
corpse
corpse
explosion.
exploding. Yeah, I guess that's just flavor.
Nah, I'm putting stuff in there, man.
Oh yeah, no. We
There's
are
goo in that
absolutely-
corpse.
Like that should be like a D10, a D4 force damage in a 10-foot radius or something like that.
You are
there should be
suffering
something.
some kind of mental anguish witnessing this. This is not.
I would
there's
even
a lot
say
going on.
that roll the D4 on that corpse.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But also, I feel like with this specific rune, there should be some drawback. Like you should suffer some exhaustion or something, as you've just been channeling all this energy through you, and now it's got nowhere to go, and you've burned fire through your insides. Part of you is like dying. Your veins are black. You've got like your fingertips like hurt from the nerve endings are burnt out from the electricity running through you.
Yeah. Yeah, you should definitely like take either like a couple levels of exhaustion from this, or maybe the side effect like from Wish, like casting Wish.
Oh
yeah.
You're real
I like
weak.
that idea.
Real weak.
Yeah.
I also, because there's these 4 specific abilities, I feel like you could set out a set of demons. Like there's a squad of demons. Every anime's big 4. Like you have 4 demons who come attack you, and each one of them has a different effect on their attacks from this table.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty disparate.
Yeah. For sure.
I definitely saying that it's not like some enemies my players are going to fight are going to have these abilities. Nope.
Sounds like your guys are dying.
At Comic-Con at the table I was playing with, when Grimble was telling the guy like, oh, there's 7 of us in the group and none of us have died yet. One of the 2 DMs were like, oh, your DM's really nice. And I was like, I'm trying, okay?
I love when other DMs just casually, oh, you're still alive? Interesting.
Last time I really thought I was going to take people out. Nope.
Oh, don't worry. They'll die soon.
It'll come soon enough. Bum, bum, bum. I like these runes, though. These are good.
I gotta say, they are more impressive than I thought, and they came with some fair balance.
Yeah. I like it. I wish more of them had come with curses.
Yes. I think though that would be something I would happily add, which would be debuffs.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
you
just
know,
like the idea of the trade-off. Like, not even to inflict damage, but just like to make people think, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I love the idea of power for something.
I
Yeah.
would
Like
even
you're
say
gonna gain this bonus.
you could
but
put the
it
curse
costs you.
on this one. Specifically what you said. It mimics the effects of the detriment of casting Wish when it's not for its intended purpose. Like that, I think
Mhm.
that's absolutely fine. Because this is like, you're not popping this every day.
No.
You're for sure like, this is our last stand. We're going for it. We have a war to win, and it doesn't look good.
Mhm.
You know, this is your last ditch effort.
Oh man, now I feel like I'm gonna edit my runes. I'm gonna make some new stuff. I would also, for these specifically, even though they're supposed to be passed down, what have you, one of the cool things about the giant runes that I use is that each of them has a price in air quotes, which is like you have to. The way that I interpreted it is one of these little things, like you need blood or hair from your enemy, or you need to rip wings off some creature. And I was like, the way I explained it to my players is that when you have that item, that when you've paid that price, you actually have to use that to draw your rune in some way, shape, or form. So I would also have to come up with, for my game, if I'm going to use these, I got to come up with some way to give them some price. Like, there's got to be something that they need when they're, for lack of a better term, casting the rune onto whatever item they have that they need.
I like that idea.
I think Carnage has to be some creature's entrails. Well, in this case, a humanoid's entrails. Your
I
players
just want
just
I
walk
just need a
into a dark
visceral
room
explosion.
and you're just holding somebody's entrails. And like the light, as they crack the door open, the light sort of shines in and it hits your face, and you turn to look at them, and you're just covered in blood. There's blood everywhere, and there's just entrails in your hands, and you're like, get out, close the door. You saw nothing.
Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, well, ignore what you just saw. Like, what do you think you? What
Everything's
you?
fine.
Yeah, what you
Everything's fine.
think you saw, you did not see. Okay. Like
Everything's
whatever you
fine.
think you saw, you
Or
did not see.
Or if only one of your parents is a demon in this case, you're like, Mom, get out!
Oh my god. This isn't for you.
You're messing
Ugh.
up my ritual! God!
You're messing up my ritual.
Oh my god.
But that only leaves what they're all about.
What are they all about? I mean, I think this is one of those things that we can. This is pretty hefty. Holy crap! You know what? Let's just go through it real quick. Right?
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
You want to
Abyssal
start us off?
runes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Who wants to go first?
You already did. Go on, take
well.
Abyssal.
Well, I'll read the preamble. Obviously, that these language-based runes are each from a line of powerful ancestral rune magic-infused glyphs that vibrantly glow and pulse as if breathing with a life of their own. A creature can focus such a rune over the course of a short rest, transferring it to a specified type of object, where it can become permanently emblazoned, empowering the object. Abyssal runes happen to say that demons, like devils, display these runes on their flesh. However, unlike devils, they have been known to willfully allow other creatures to transfer their runes, seeing it as a way to spread chaos and corruption. The chaotic nature of demons is reflected in their runes. While demons are capable of choosing the most desirable effect from a rune at any given time, other creatures who draw on this power merely activate it and effect at random.
Oh, so that Carnage one, that's why they're so disparate. It could be like an actual demon using it makes sense. Like I said, like you'll just make a squad of demons, each of them uses a different one. But someone using it, and that makes even more sense to have that kind of curse. Like you've got
Yeah.
4 different demonic powers coursing through you at once. Your body's not meant to take that.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely messing with forces you weren't supposed to mess with.
Oh, I would love, flavor-wise, after it's over, or even like just as it's about to happen, you have to tell the person that's doing it, like you can see their arms and legs start bending in unnatural ways, and you hear like cracks and popping of their muscles and muscle fibers and stuff going off, and they're just like, it looks like their body's racked with pain, but then they're ready for carnage.
I love this. I love this.
Look at this flavor.
And I love this. This is the curse I think I was looking for, the debuff. In a weird way. This is an interesting debuff to it. Not a bad way, but in a very fun kind of like user beware.
You want to take Draconic again, DM Lacara?
Sure. Dragons imbue these symbols upon small objects of monetary value, such as gold pieces, hiding them among their vast hoards while augmenting their wealth. Draconic runes are infused with an ancient magic that takes longer for most creatures to manipulate. Dragons utilizing these runes can activate them quickly and with ease. Other creatures, however, if they can manage to find such a rune, must spend substantially longer activating the magic that lies within. Which rune was the Draconic one?
Reinforce. The one that ups your AC.
That didn't have a time lag.
It's only... Oh, that must be what they meant by any handheld object. So anything that you could pull out of the hoard. Again, you should... I'm not going to fault you. Obviously, you know better of, like... I'm just giving you a little tweak here. The arena guy. How they work should go before them. Almost, I feel like in this case you're kind of like the assassins have the hidden blade. Like there's just a coin and like a launcher that's hidden in their wrist. Like they're a cheating gambler and they pop it out and put their fingers on it to enact the rune.
Oh god! So they're just popping out a little wrist action death coin.
You can even make them say like, "I have the power."
Oh my goodness. Druidic runes. Why don't you take us through some druidic runes, Okami?
All right. Arch or Arc, depending on what you prefer, can infuse their written druidic symbols with powerful magic, leaving them as a boon for other druids. Druidic runes, like all druidic messages, written and spoken, are secretive and difficult to spot for creatures that don't know the language. While all creatures are capable of activating these magical runes once transferred, only druids can maximize their potential, harnessing a further layer of magic that lies within. Oh, so all the ones that are in druidic should have some secondary ability. Interesting. I was going to, so in my campaign, I ripped Ogamic stones out of, they would pretty much serve the same purpose as druidic runes, but I ripped Ogamic stones out of Shadows of Estrin, which is basically Depression, the TTRPG. There's no way to win Shadows of Estrin. You only lose less. And one of the things in Shadows of Estrin is if you're a druid, they have an amalgam of druid and ranger. They're people who like walk between settlements and deliver messages, but they also speak to the earth. And the way that their magic works is they take like a small flat stone and they draw a symbol on it that is related to one of the elements. But it's not like cardinal elements or other weird things. Some of them are. There's obviously like earth and air and fire and water, but there's other things like vegetal runes are for anything that grows. And you basically draw your whatever rune you want on that stone, and then you can choose how much energy, how much magic you want to put into it, and then you cast a spell through that. And so I use them in my world that a druid, a really high-powered druid, can give you a stone that's got some feature. It might not even be a full spell. It might just be a feature of a spell built into it, and it's got basically it has a rune on it already, and you can use it. And then generally speaking, the way that I've implemented them is you have to go to some place of nature's power to restore it once you've used it. But this is almost the same thing, except there's a hidden layer underneath it.
I like the addition, though, of needing a specific place to recharge it.
Okay.
Like, I like that additional flair that you've added to that. And that similar idea that you need that reconnection. Like,
And
that's actually a really cool idea.
If you're big druid, like JB, who was in the campaign with me and Shin when Clubs was our DM, his character is powerful enough to make ogamic stones, so some of her underlings have them. And when you use one of hers or her sisters, because they're so powerful and like they know that they're better than you, when you use an ogamic stone of theirs, other people can feel their presence emanating from it. Like it's actually a gift from them.
Oh.
Wow.
God, I just love flavor. I'm sorry.
Flavor's so nice.
Flavor. I hear flavor and my left eye tears up.
Now I gotta think up a way to make like that underlying ability too. I'm gonna hide something in those ogamic stones.
There you go. There you go. Well, continuing through, we get back to some good old Dwarvish, which I don't know why recently dwarves have started to sound like either thick North Irish accents from every person I've been talking to about the dwarves, or like a Scottish accent of some kind.
Dwarves are just Scottish. I don't know why. They have to be.
They are.
They have to be.
I just didn't know we re-defaulted them. I didn't know they were defaulted back to just being automatically Scottish. I need to know these things, but no. Dwarvish, though rare among dwarves, those who possess great arcane power can inscribe these runes on solid natural stone, such as in the tunnels of mountains and on large rock faces. Dwarvish runes bear incredibly durable magic, which can sometimes be used several times before exhausting the energy within. Dwarves are known to guard these runes with marked vigilance. However, this protective attitude makes it all the more meaningful when they offer runes as gifts to outsiders they deem to be friends.
Aww.
That is awesome. You save a mountain. You help save a dwarven mountain from destruction from maybe a dragon that's taken up refuge. Yes, as Lord of the Rings as that is, it's going to have to be. But he looks at you and the Dwarven King's like, for what you've done for my people. And he just bestows upon you this Dwarven rune carved into stone. That is so cool. I think that is such a cool idea.
Fantastic. Fantastic! Who's was I? I think I was elves, but is this not in the same order?
I think it's alphabetical now. Yeah, he went alphabetical. All of a sudden.
Confused. Would you like to take elves? Diokar?
Okay. Elves most often bestow these runes upon the surface of a lasting material, such as the sacred halls of a temple or the trunk of a magically reinforced tree. Just as elves naturally grow in wisdom and power as they age, so too do their runes grow based on the experience of the wielder. Elves often receive these runes as gifts at major life events such as coming of age, playing right into what Okami was postulating before. Though they are hesitant to release such a rune to those with a shorter lifespan, many are known connoisseurs and collectors, bartering with their own runes to acquire rare runes from other languages.
Oh.
Which, I mean,
expecting you to
given
get
the
more.
other... Yeah, expecting, like, comparing the other ones, only, like, really the druidic would be, like, possibly somebody with a shorter lifespan. Everything else here is
Yeah.
either supernatural or similarly long-lived.
Mm. I'm glad they went with, like, oh, they'd give it to connoisseurs and collectors, where it's like they know someone who will appreciate it, even though they probably won't live long enough to really
Yeah.
understand its true power.
It also
Yeah.
sets you up for, like, a free run, like, adventure where it's like, I'm just
Yeah, it does.
collecting the most random runes I can find.
You know what? I hate that you had to say it, but you are absolutely on point when you compare it to that to Furin.
Yeah.
That is 1,000% accurate.
I was thinking of, like, almost one of the biggest examples I thought of like when they're just waiting to die. I was like, oh, that's free run basically.
Everything all roads lead to Furin. Just
It's true.
They really do.
It means I'm going for infernal this time.
what happens?
Devils ritualistically carve these symbols into their skin, scarring their flesh in an outward display of power. Infernal runes are notoriously dangerous and almost invariably bear a curse. So this definitely, yeah, yep. Devils utilizing
This
these
tracks.
runes don't need to transfer them to an object to harness their energy, and they are unaffected by their runes. Oh, they don't. So they'll show it to you and be like, yo, you want this, right? Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah. Other creatures, however, if they can manage to steal a devil's rune, after you slay it or trap it, have to employ extreme caution when availing themselves of the power that these okay. So it's not even like they're trying to trick you because they're devils. You're stealing them from them, and they have the curse as a booby trap.
That's awesome.
Why did you not put this section first, bro?
I do truly feel that this needed to be further up the line than where it is. This being kind of like your closing statements. No. Give me this on the page. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, that too. Yeah. That also would have made it. Yeah. Who would like to take Sylvan now?
Go for it, Shin.
right? Well, Sylvan runes. These elusive runes are known to only be visible to the naked eye when in the presence of a fey creature, and are otherwise only discernible with magical aids such as to detect magic or see invisibility spells. Sylvan runes are highly sought after for their ability to multiply, transferring to several objects at once for creatures to share their benefits. Fey creatures utilizing these runes can transfer them to twice as many objects as normal, sometimes leading other creatures to seek out and bargain with Fey for their services. That is awesome. Now your pet and your warlock who has 300-foot, Eldritch Blast has Hunter's Mark. So when the bird spots it, he caws, and the Eldritch Blast just bursts through the trees, wrapping around to slam somebody. I just did it to myself. I overloaded myself with lore.
This is fantastic. This is better than the feat where you can share animal sense while you're blinded. Like, this is way better. Sharing it with multiple people and sharing all their senses together. This is almost like a a Sense 8
Hive
type
mind.
scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make up so many more runes now.
I'm with you.
This is fantastic. This is fantastic. A+.
Yeah, my only qualm is that you didn't put all this cool stuff on the page with the runes themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Ordering
that's literally
needed
just
some
an
work,
outlining thing.
but otherwise, this was fantastic, man.
If you ever watch this roundtable, I think we all agree this is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rare unanimous vote. The roundtable enjoys your content.
I have so much more stuff to add to the runes. At least I can definitely do some of these. I don't have to worry about too soon, but other ones, there's a DM Bacon's character. He might get some elvish runes at some point.
I like runes, and I like runes and tattoos in games. I think those are two very cool underused magical items in D&D at the table. And I think it can bring a lot of fun ideas.
Yeah. And not tattoos the way that I hate the way that they're implemented, that they canonically implemented them with the stupid needle that touches your skin and then the tattoo slides out onto your skin and then you can put it back in a needle. No. I want you to spend your downtime getting a tattoo.
Yeah, no, it could still be a magical needle. It could still leave, but I'm saying that it leaves like the stencil. And they still have to hammer. They still have to hammer in your tattoo. Like you still gotta. It's gotta heal. I need you to deal with realistic tattoo healing. Like, you want to heal it faster? Get someone to cast Cure Wounds on it.
I have a lot of side work to do now. But next one is just one thing. It is an aquatic symbiote. So I'm going to throw it in there. For those of you guys on YouTube, you can check the description. Come on down. For those of you on Twitch, I'm sharing the link, and I'm going to pin it for the next 30 minutes. Though probably it's just one item. Probably won't take us 30 minutes to make it through.
Who knows? Maybe they'll upset us enough to trigger us down. You never know.
Especially with us, you never know.
Yeah, we have opinions.
I didn't expect a symbiote to be an item.
It's an interesting take.
So this is it's not technically an item, but there is another I have in the repository, I think it is already there. It is a warlock option. You can be a pact with a symbiote and get a symbiote that's sort of related to the element that whatever your warlock patron is, that sort of like, reports on you, but you're wearing it, so it is going to give you some benefits. And I feel like this is kind of in that same vein. So it is weird that it is an item, but let's take a peek.
This is horrifying.
This is just a picture. I love that it has eyes on the top and the bottom, which just weirds me out. Like, weird.
Yeah, I don't necessarily like. I don't like having eyes there, personally. I don't need that.
Would you like to tell us about this aquatic symbiote?
I think go ahead, Okami. I think you can lead us through, because this is.
Yeah, I'm too freaked out.
The flavor.
I need a sip of water on this one.
The way that this is written out, flavor-wise, is gonna make you feel even weirder. Wondrous item, rare, does require attunement. So none of the runes from before required attunement. You just sort of are lucky enough to get them. You could make whole campaigns out of seeking out the correct runes, but this guy does require attunement after you find it, or it's literally bestowed upon you as it climbs up on top of you. But this fleshy mass pulses with life and twitches when touched. If you allow this creature to merge with your body, you gain adaptations suited for an aquatic environment. You can breathe underwater and gain a swimming speed equal to your walking speed. You must immerse yourself in water for at least 1 hour every day or suffer 1 level of exhaustion at the end of that day. You can only recover from this exhaustion through magic or by immersing yourself in water for at least an hour. Additionally, when you merge the symbiote, you can choose one of the following adaptations. So you only get one of these. Who wants to take bioluminescence?
Okay. Bioluminescence. Your skin develops luminous patches, or you grow a slender stalk from your head that dangles a mass of luminescent flesh at the end. I'm just thinking of your mutation, Okami. I'm just thinking of mutation. As a bonus action, you can activate or deactivate your bioluminescence, providing bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light for an additional 20 feet. As an action, you can create a dazzling display and attempt to lure a creature within 20 feet that you can see. The creature must make a DC 15 wisdom saving throw or become charmed by you for a minute on failure. A creature charmed in this way is incapacitated and move towards you at half the speed on each of its turns. The creature can remake this save at the beginning of each of its turns, and each time it takes damage, ending the effect on a success. Once this property is used, it cannot be reused again until you complete a long rest.
I'm sorry, I think the only way that should be charmed is if it's an aquatic creature. I think otherwise that should be
Or a
frightened.
moth.
Yeah.
They're clearly going for will-o-wisp type stuff, but like
Yeah.
the dongle, man, the dongle's not going to work on most humanoids. Unless
No.
you're Ichigo's mom.
I don't care. I don't think it's too soon.
The main character in Bleach, his mom got killed by basically an evil ghost called the Grand Fisher, who had one of them. Exactly that mutation.
Mm-hmm. She saw a dangling thing in the middle of nowhere and was just like, oh. So dumb. This makes sense.
Would you like to take venomous spines or ink sacs, DM Lacara?
She's
No.
like such lovely choices.
Yeah, I guess I'll take. Oh, there's such horrible verbs in both of these. I guess I'll take venomous spines. Rows of what?
I know, I'm just laughing. You're like, there are horrible verbs in both of these. Like, neither of these bring me joy.
Rows of. Someone had way too much fun writing this. Rows of thin spines protrude from your skin, coated with neurotoxic mucus. My husband's sitting here. I have headphones, and he has no idea what's going on. As a reaction, when a creature hits you with a melee attack, you can retaliate with venomous spines. How many times can we say venomous spines during this section?
Drinking game.
Make an unarmed strike against the attacker, dealing 1d4 piercing, really? On a hit, and the target must make a DC 15 con saving throw, taking 2d8 poison damage, there we go, and becoming poisoned for 1 minute on a failure. If it's neurotoxic mucus, I don't want them to be poisoned. I want them to be incapacitated.
Yeah, I want them to just paralyzed.
Yeah,
straight up paralyzed.
Paralysis. Exactly. Once you hit a creature, this property cannot be used again until you complete a long rest. That's underpowered. I'm sorry.
Especially that you can only do it once.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, look, if I gotta walk around with spines sticking out of my skin all the time, I better be able to stab someone more than once.
Yeah, I need to be able to truly utilize this weird freakish mutation on mine. Like, I need retaliatory spines to like stab something that hits me in melee range.
Yeah.
And especially like the assumption is that what, they all get sucked in like Toothless's teeth once you connect with someone? Until you
I think
take a
the
nap?
idea is that you've used up the mucus, but
But why
There's
don't you
so
just
many
produce more?
spines.
It's yeah.
yeah, I
Hmm.
agree.
Hmm.
I think the idea is cool.
Mm.
Execution didn't stick the landing.
Definitely, like, I can understand not wanting to give a player paralysis because it's so powerful, but if it's just once, I don't think that's a problem. Like, you're saving it for the correct thing.
Also, I think DMs need to get past the fear of putting something powerful in a world, because if the player can have it, so can I.
Yeah. I'm thinking these are like, there's some, like, there's Sahagwins down there, and you have to go talk to them, what have
Hmm.
you. And in order to have an audience with the king or queen, like, they employ these. They have like a special tank full of these that they give to outsiders so you can come down there and not die.
Oh. If you take away the wonder of the item down to something like that, then yes. I think maybe the once a use thing is fine. But you have to seriously underpower this.
Hmm. All right, I'll take ink
Look,
sacs.
oh, that just. Oof.
You
Tell us about
develop.
the ink sacs.
Okay. I skipped to the end in my head, and I was like, that's a weird way to say that, but okay. You develop 3 sacs filled with an inky black substance. As an action, while underwater, you can secrete the contents of 1 sac to create an opaque ink cloud in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on yourself. The sphere spreads around corners, its area is heavily obscured, and it counts as difficult terrain to creatures other than yourself. It lasts for 1 minute or until a strong current disperses it. You regenerate all expended ink sacs when you complete a long rest. That should be you regenerate all expended inks because you're not throwing, like, the ink sac isn't exploding. It's releasing its contents.
I'm just thinking of Finding Nemo. You made me
Yep,
ink.
you made me ink.
I love the non-specificity as to where the ink sacs pop up on your body.
Oh,
Ooh.
we left that wide open, and I have a feeling it's for a reason.
I'm definitely picturing like extra jowls popping up on someone.
Oh yeah.
At first, I was like, would it be funnier if it was like your butt or your balls? And then I was like, no, it's funnier if it comes out of like your nipples or something.
Oh,
Oh my god.
I'm
Just
thinking
out of
one
nowhere.
dangling off each wrist.
Oh.
It's just imagine trying to write.
Oh my god. They're just at the base of your palm.
Yep.
You just like get tired of someone, pull off a glove, you just slap someone, just ah, ah, just
Yep.
get me.
And I love that you can only disperse their contents underwater. Like, no, what if it happens when you're not in the water, man? Sometimes you burst a sack, man. That's just the way it is.
Well, yeah, but then it's not an ink cloud, it's just a puddle on your feet.
It's true. It sucks, but it's true.
Oh,
I
oh,
love the next paragraph is
yep.
my favorite.
Please take that.
Oh yeah.
Removing the attunement to the symbiosis takes 1 hour of incredibly painful surgery, which must be performed by another creature. During this process, you are incapacitated and take 2d6 necrotic damage every 10 minutes. This damage ignores resistance and immunity. If you're reduced to 0 hit points or the process is interrupted, the removal fails. If the process is a success, the attunement ends and the symbiote is destroyed.
Oh, you don't have to kill it, man.
Man, it's too powerful. You gotta kill it. But also, does this mean that this creature, as they're removing it from me, has to literally just be standing there casting heal? Like casting like cure wounds every like
Yeah,
couple
someone's
of
got to be there
minutes?
every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
This is.
I mean that, or you have to have more than, what, 72 hit points?
You have to have a whole Steve?
You gotta have Steve. Oh my god, you're taking surgery and Steve's just dying on the table? You monster.
Yeah.
No, you're hooked up to Steve. Steve is giving you like a transfusion.
Oh, Steve.
Take this thing off you.
Like the symbiote falls off and you look up, Steve's like, it was worth it. Like, yeah.
Oh.
Steve.
Ooh, I don't know if you want to read the flavor text about someone getting it put on.
I got this. The elder coaxed a strange creature from the pool, amorphous and gelatinous with large, wild eyes, akin to those of an octopus. They swiveled and blinked in 4 different directions, drinking in the candle-lit chamber. Immediately, the creature began to change color and shape, stretching and flattening itself over her skin. She handled it quickly, preventing it from gaining purchase on her body. This is for you, young one. Step forward. Ambergris hesitated. He knew the process of becoming Seaborn would permanently change you, and he welcomed the transformation, but he wasn't expecting it to be so grotesque. Come now, it's time, the elder said sternly, and Ambergris obeyed. She held the creature aloft, chanting softly to herself, and lowered it onto his shoulders. The creature was cool, slimy, and eager. As it expanded to engulf his skin, it felt as if he was submerged in a vat of old blubber or wriggling worms. Swallowing panic, he closed his eyes and stood incredibly still. Within minutes, the creature wrapped itself around his entire body, leaving his head free. Then it began to itch and burn. It hurts, Ambergris gasped. Focus, child. You must guide its shape to suit your needs. Wincing through the pain, he reached out with his mind and felt a strange alien presence respond to his attention. Slowly, the pain subsided, and Ambergris opened his eyes to see the chamber filled with a blue, brilliant glow. The light was coming from his own skin, which now protruded with gills and fins that flexed slowly. Ambergris felt a sudden urge to try out this new body. He stepped forward and dove into the water. It felt like home. Interesting.
I have no other. There's no thoughts in my head other than these guys are all Kraken worshippers. Like,
Yeah,
if you're in the
this is
Forgotten
Dagon.
Realms, that's the only reason to get this symbiote. You're a Kraken worshipper.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need a reason to want to go through this.
I
Or
do
as
like
part
that
of
they have a
some, like,
name for
elite.
them.
Seaborn.
I'm thinking maybe you're part of some like elite fighting force. You're in some like fortress city that's like incredibly well defended, except its port. It's sitting on some like huge bay. So they have these like special
Oh.
elite warriors that become Seaborn to defend the bay.
But like it's like joining an order. Like it's
Yeah.
almost like joining the Men in Black. Like you sacrifice your family and your life on land to truly become Seaborn.
Yeah.
Like this is your life now. They've built a small community of Seaborn at the base of the bay.
Yep.
They're protecting everything. Yeah.
Yeah, like you don't
Ooh.
have to give up knowing everyone else, but they probably don't want to hang out with you anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I also like
I mean, I
that
would imagine
clearly.
they would probably be born. There would be people either born Seaborn or chosen Seaborn too.
Oh.
Mm.
Your mom went swimming one too many times while she was pregnant.
Like every water birth, somebody pops out your tub to be like, Seaborn, we're taking it. What? No, give me back my son.
Yeah.
Or obviously you have to have like quintessential teen superhero story, like one of the symbiotes escaped and it latched onto a child who happened to be nearby, and now he's the blue octopus instead of the blue beetle.
Mm. That only works if we're doing the empowered.
Yeah, this would be a good one for one of the empowered. It's true. For me, this has to go on the weird Kraken cultists because they're all shooting Eldritch blasts, and now they can. But that's one thing that like makes so much sense within the context of D&D, but explaining it to other people, like I had to explain to my players like what they need to be afraid of if they're out at sea, because one of them is a pirate. I was like, you don't go too far north because then it's all Kraken worshippers, and it's not like they're shooting cannons at you. Like 9 out of 10 of them
It's so much worse.
is sitting on the like the deck of the boat, just eldritch blasting, and it goes so far. Like they have so many power-ups, so that it's just, instead of cannons, it's just a bunch of emaciated dudes just like eldritch blast all over the side of the boat. You gotta worry. They would definitely have these symbiotes for sure. And it makes sense because they like to sacrifice people to the Kraken. So they're going up and they're doing the woo dongle thing, and people are just jumping into the water.
This is where you introduce, if you're into Lovecraftian lore, Dagon and all of his followers. Definitely, like you said, they're Kraken cultists. Like they're, if you want to put this as a true evil angle, your players wanting to don one of these may not be the thing, but maybe they want to bind one of these to your skin.
Ooh.
Like do it in a weird, twisted kind of way where like they want to bind this to your skin because you're there.
And you can even make it, if you really want to go darker, make it so that if you're not a willing participant, it's dealing the damage that it would if you were trying to rip it off to you, as it's trying to bond. Like they're forcing it onto you and you don't want it. So like you hear your character hears screams in the night in the city, and then there's more and more weird, scaly looking people. Every day, more and more of the town seems to have gills that pulsate as if they're searching for some liquid sustenance.
See that I like.
I also like that clearly there's two different kinds of DMs, where I immediately was like, these are for evil people, and DM Lacara was like, no, these people protect the town. They made a sacrifice to do the right thing. There's clearly two different kinds of people here.
Well, I mean, it's something that so obviously lends itself to, evil Kraken worshippers that, like, I was just trying to provide a alternative.
Fair.
No,
fair.
I think it's fair. I think it's a dope idea to have, even those being conflicting ideologies in the Bay.
Ooh, the good symbiotes and the bad symbiotes.
Yeah. They like to display different colors, or the way that they describe it, like it can change colors like an octopus. You could even have like on someone's back or on someone. This one looks like it'd be on your back, but since it's amorphous, it can move all over your body. Like maybe they basically display the holy symbol of whatever they're worshiping through the symbiote on their chest, like Venom's like spider symbol. Like whose side people are on, but then there's also people who, because it's camouflage and they can choose what it looks like, they wear other people's holy symbol and like infiltrate their group. Ooh. You could play social deduction with aquatic symbiotes.
Good Lord.
Instead of werewolf, it's just glug glug glug.
Oh god, undersea symbiote West Side Story. Oh my!
This is good. I like this one too. It doesn't speak to me as much as the runes do, but
I think with the additional story beats that like DM Lacara cooked up, and kind of like what you were mentioning with the idea of the cultists and everything like that, I think with those story beats, there's function for it, but on its own, I wouldn't have a real want or use for it myself.
Yeah, like I wouldn't offer this to my players, but other people in the
No.
world might have them. If they wanted them, I would be like, "Oh, you." Immediately as I said that, I was like, a Goblin Slayer would want this for no reason. Just give me power. Yes, strap this thing that's probably going to end up killing me later onto my body. Give it to me.
Oh yeah.
It has a mind of its own.
But
It
again, you
can
have to
watch
be.
people for its master. Sure, yes. Put it on me. Give it to me. All right, I do have one more thing that I want to go over tonight, but it is multiple things. And the second page of it, it's got 2 pages. One is items that are all based on things in Minecraft. And then the bottom of it is potions, but almost all of the potions are potions that already exist in D&D. It's just like which ones you would use if you were running a Minecraft world. So the bottom, you don't really have to worry about. But if you guys are willing, we don't necessarily have to speed run them, but they are just regular items to go through. Would you like to take a peek at some Minecraft items?
I
That'd be
am
good.
going to duck out at this juncture.
Oh, okay. I
Sorry,
figured.
nothing against Minecraft, although I have no point of reference for it.
I feel like it's something that we would like our friend group as a whole would probably enjoy like wasting hours and hours on, but I just have zero desire to do it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yep. I did that with Terraria. I don't need to do it again with something
I
3D.
remember you used to play a lot of Terraria.
I did.
I've burned hours into Terraria, and by hours I mean a lifetime that I can't get back.
Yeah, same.
I I didn't play Terraria, but the sprite question mark from Terraria was a playable class in one of the Dungeon Defenders. I don't know if it was 2 or Awakened or whatever other variant of Awakened there is now because there's like 4 of them. But they were a playable class for a while, and I played that. And I was like, no, I'm not going to start Terraria.
Yeah. Okay, good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks for joining
Have
us.
fun with Minecraft. Bye.
This is how we bring in everybody else. We just talk about Minecraft.
Clearly, the secret.
Give me 1 sec. I'm writing this down. I realized I didn't write down the first thing, but I wrote down the rest of this stuff. Minecraft. So that it makes my job easier when I turn these into VODs for you guys to watch if you haven't been watching this. I'm going to
Looks
put
like
this
you're getting
link
a little.
in here. And then for
Looks
those
like
of
you're
you
getting a
on
little extra
YouTube,
credit.
come down to the description. You can follow along with us. But for those of you on Twitch, I'm throwing it in the chat, and I am going to pin it for the next 30 minutes.
Okay. Well, it looks like you said, looks like we got a little round table after hours, a little extra credit here. So
Extra credit.
see, we can.
Listen, maybe if we stay long enough, Dungeon Mommy will also pop in. I don't know.
You never know. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Would you like to
Why don't you start us off, O'Connor?
Oh, okay. I'll take on the combat fishing rod. So when I read this originally, combat fishing rod, I was like, "Oh, you made a fishing rod a weapon? Are you like gone from Hunter x Hunter? Is that what's happening?"
Yeah.
That is not quite what's happening here. It is a wondrous item. It's minor, but also common, so you can get them, which makes sense because as I read this, you're going to be like, "Oh, I see why you'd probably need a lot of these." But using the attack action, you can expend one of this rod's 16 charges to make a special, long-reach, melee attack with this magically reinforced fishing rod to either shove a creature or object or reel it in closer to you. If you're able to make multiple attacks to the attack action, this attack replaces one of them. So like the same idea as when they redid Dragonborn's Breath so that it counted as part of your multi-attack instead of the whole attack.
Right.
The target must be no more than one size larger than you and must be within 40 feet. Instead of making an attack roll, you make a strength athletics check contested by the target's strength or dexterity check the target chooses, which, if you win the contest, you can either knock the target prone, push it 5 feet away from you, or pull it up to 10 feet closer to you. When the rod's last charge is expended, it breaks, and there is no way, seemingly, to repair them normally. I mean, obviously, if you had mending, I would let you repair like one charge at a time, that kind of thing. But the fact that it's common, you'd keep buying them over and over and over again, most likely.
Yeah, this is not something, and with the new crafting rules too, this is something that maybe an artificer can make pretty simply too. Or like a forge cleric. Like, this is something you could craft.
I hadn't thought of that. Yeah.
I would imagine carpenter's tools would be fine, since it seems like some form of woodworking or blacksmithing. If you have a combination of the two, I'd say maybe you could do it on a short rest versus like a long rest if it was just one of you.
Are you saying downtime could be useful?
Don't quote me, okay?
Don't actually, I have something that will make all of you angry if you haven't read this excerpt. The new DMG took downtime out of the book.
Huh?
There's no more need for downtime because all of your players' downtime is now devoted to the Bastion, which they don't do anything for. Everything in the Bastion happens automatically.
Are you telling me they have stripped literal downtime actions from the game?
Yeah, they're not in the book anymore. You're going to have to come up with everything by yourself.
I mean, thankfully I was already doing that, but to hell with you, Watsy. Just to hell with you. Now I'm mad. I wasn't mad. Now I'm mad. Oh. Left a terrible taste out of my mouth. Oh.
Just Watsy things. This will help players play the game by making sure they don't do anything.
Yeah, that's what players need. Crippling gameplay.
Oh, I forgot to change the music. One moment. Actually, would you like to take the next one?
I will in my Watsy Field Rage. You can also get a basket of chorus fruit. It's a wondrous item, once again minor, but this one uncommon. This basket contains 60, 10 plus 4 purple fruits, so you can get quite a large number of fruits. When you eat one, you can eat one as an action or bonus action, and when you do, you teleport to a random place on the ground within 30 feet that has enough space for you to stand. That's kind of cool, but also kind of frightening if you're fighting in like a field of these fruits against, let's say, like creatures eating the fruits.
Ooh, these are great if you take on the, like, you happen to wander into a glade and you see these creatures. Maybe they're fey creatures, so they have some kind of resistance to magic or some sort, and they're just happily chomping away, and you're like, oh, they must not be poisonous because they're not suffering any ill effects from them. Might be great. Like, maybe you got transported to the Feywild, you don't really know how things are going on, and then you pick one up, you take a bite out of it, and you're like, zoop zoop, what?
Yep, like whoop. Yeah. Yeah, I think that works.
You like make a pie or something out of them and feed them to people to teleport them out. Like, that's how you break someone out of jail. Like, they're in the jail cell and you give them a snack and it's made of chorus fruit. And they're like, zoop zoop. Yes. What? And all the cops are like, huh?
See, I like this.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Also, like what you said before, there's golden apples where if you eat them, you gain 1d8 HP and 1d8 temp HP. But then he added, At the DM's discretion, a character proficient with the herbalism kit. Oh, look at that! You're actually using one of your kits? Amazing! If
What?
they have access to
Impossible.
it, you can craft a golden apple from an apple and 72 gold. Okay, that's a little weird, but because if that's the case, you're like gilding this apple, and then you're eating actual gold.
Uh-huh. Well, you know what? Deal with it.
Gotta deal with it. Oh, excuse me. Do you want to take the ender chest?
Why? Yes. Yes, I do. I also feel terrible that I skipped over the golden apple like that, but
No
yeah,
worries. We still hit it up.
oh yeah. The ender chest, another wondrous item, minor and uncommon. This 3x3x3 dark green chest emanates purple specks. Whenever a creature opens one, it reveals an interior space exclusive to that creature. Items stored in an ender chest by a creature only reappear in an ender chest when the same creature opens one. All ender chests reveal the same individual exclusive space, allowing items stored in one chest to be withdrawn through another. Only. So if I'm getting this correct, you can a creature can store. This is broken because a creature can literally take the item that you need, stuff it in an ender chest, and literally you cannot retrieve it.
Okay, this is probably going to make a lot of people angry, but my first thought was if everyone in your team has a different bastion, each bastion has an ender chest that like your party uses. So only the so even if you go to someone else's bastion in the group, you still get your stuff out of it. I think that's like the idea that you're supposed to be using it. But the fact that this is an uncommon item means a lot of people are going to have this.
Yes. Yes, definitely yes.
This would probably make a lot of sense if in the background of like every shop, there's an ender chest that the shopkeep has in the shop and like one in the warehouse.
I see what you're saying, yes. I can see that. And like I said, I can see this can get really fun. This can get fun in a lot of ways, I feel like. I like this item. I'm not. This is probably one of the first items, like, or I can say safely that all these items so far have been pretty appealing. This is interesting, I think, to me for the first time, besides maybe like the basket of chorus fruit, in a narrative sense.
This is a good item to like fill your world out with.
Yes. But maybe you can tell us a little bit more about it. It looks like it has a cousin. What's a shulker box? Okay.
Ooh. This one's also a wondrous item, minor and uncommon. But a shulker box is a 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot box, and all of its contents shrink to 3 inches by 3 inches by 3 inches when you say the command word as a bonus action, as if it doesn't contain any other shulker. Oh, so you could put a shulker box in a shulker box in a shulker box, like nesting dolls? Weird, but okay.
I think so.
Another command word reverts it to normal size. If the box doesn't have enough space to grow to full size, it does not grow at all. Okay. Regardless of its contents, the box weighs 1 pound. The box has AC 18, a damage threshold of 15, and 35 hit points. If the box is broken while shrunk, the broken box and all its contents return to their normal size as soon as there is enough space for them to do so. This is good if you just wanted to put this into a world to get rid of the idea of encumberment. Like if you just say like you have an adventurers guild and the idea is that they're supposed to bring back relics or what have you, like the adventurers guild would give everyone a shulker box. and then you bring it
Yes.
out, throw all the stuff in it, shrink it down, put it like in your pocket in one of your packs or something, and bring it back. And then you get back to the job, and you're like, "Embiggen," and whoop whoop whoop, and then you sell all your stuff. This is also a good like background item.
I can see that being a fun background item. Yeah.
Also, very good for like if you're sneaking in and infiltrating someone's base. Shrink all your items down, like all your weapons and stuff, and then pop the box up big when you've already broken in, get all your stuff. Like if you're doing a heist or something.
Oh.
There's some ideas for this for sure.
I can see something working with that. I can picture something interesting with that. Moving forward, though, we also get some spectral ammunition.
Oh, love me some special arrows, man.
Oh yeah. It is any type of ammunition. It is minor, and it is uncommon. For the first time, not wondrous though. Only non-wondrous item I think on this list. These tipped ammunition pieces are found in parcels of 1d10 plus 6 pieces. When you fire one, it highlights the object or creature it strikes in a 10-foot radius of dim white light for a round. For that duration, any attack roll against the affected creature or object has the advantage if the attacker can see it, and the effective creature or object can't benefit from being invisible. The arrow then loses its magic. This is cool. You get like a one-turn hunter sense. Or hunter's mark, kind of.
This is great if you're doing party initiative, and I was laughing at you, Fist. That yes, you can grow your pot. Yep. Just hide it in the sugar box. But this is great if you're doing whole team initiative and like you have the person who's got this ammunition go first and be like, this is the target I'm painting. Everybody ping them.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely yes. There is some fun to be had there.
I will definitely add this to my world. This is a really cool idea. For that one turn, you're all probably gonna hit.
And it's gonna be, and if you have a multi-attack, oh man.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Oh, you're getting lit up. Pew, pew, pew. Oh man, a barrage of arrows just lighting up a number of creatures.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
But maybe you can tell us about the buffed the buffed golden apple, Okami.
Oh. This one's a wondrous item, minor, and rare. You can eat this tiny enchanted golden apple as an action. When you do, you regain 48 HP and gain 48 temp HP. For the next 10 minutes, you have resistance to fire damage, and all other kinds of damage you would take is reduced by 20%, rounded down. Okay, I loved it until you got to the damage you'd take is reduced by 20%, rounded down, because now we're in Pathfinder weeds.
I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that. And I was just like, oh no. Oh no, now we've got too many numbers.
You could just take out that. You could say they have you might as well just say you have resistance to all damage. I understand they want fire to be the most, but like listen, in 5e, 5.5e, 1D&D, whatever you want to call it, that's too far into the weeds for us, okay? Maybe all other kinds of damage for the next minute. Because resistance to all damage for 10 minutes is a lot. Everyone would just be chomping down on these when they go to war. would you like to tell us about this pearl necklace?
I believe I will. This necklace has 1d10 plus 6 dark green pearls. So get your minds out together. No.
Wrong color, y'all.
Hanging from it. You can use an action to detach a pearl and throw it up to 120 feet. When the pearl shatters at the end of its trajectory, the thrower teleports to that location and takes damage as if they had just fallen 20 feet. 2d6 bludgeoning damage. Any effect that eliminates or reduces falling damage can eliminate or reduce this damage. This is amazing. This and the Enchanted Golden Apple, already 10 out of 10. I want them both.
At first, I was like 120 feet. Like, you have to have like a baseball arm. But the fact that you teleport where you go, and you take the damage because it's so far. But like, most people who are doing this are on the run, so it's got to be. This is a great thing to give your BBEG when they get introduced to the party at the beginning of the game. Like, the party's just met them. They're like, I gotta go. They just zoom after the party starts hitting them or something. Like, you just zoom. I won't die from this, but I gotta get out of here. This is a great. It has a cost. This is a great item.
No, this is Chef's Kiss perfect.
And you could even like. It's mean because this is a rare item and you don't have infinite pearls for it. But you even play games like if your players are trying to land somewhere and it's like a place that would be hard for them to throw something at, maybe it misses and it goes off somewhere else.
Yeah, I like that.
Some people might be getting necklaces of ender pearls. Tell you what.
Oh yeah. Is that what they call it nowadays?
Oh, a very rare. Oh, 2 very rares in a row. I guess I'll take the Totem of Undying. Wondrous item, minor, very rare. If you're holding this green-eyed wooden angel statuette when you would die, instead the totem vanishes, all conditions and ongoing effects on you end. You regain 8d8 HP and you gain 2d8 temp HP.
I hate it.
This has to be an item that your players don't know what it does. If they knew what it did, they'd be like, I'm just going to make many of these. I'll just make an infinite amount.
Yeah, I need the process of creating this item to be so sacred that like it costs a child's soul. So like you want to make one, go for it. Give me a child soul if you want that. Like that's how you sacrifice and get it. Because I'm not making this easy. I'm not giving my players a video game level
essentially item. A get out of jail free card.
Yeah. I'm not giving you an instant back for making bad. I'm not going to give you a way to make bad decisions.
Listen, Fist, you might need it when you play in Grimbo's campaign. Okay, I'm just putting that out there.
You actually, you know, yeah, give us a fist. Definitely gives us a fist. Actually, no, give this to Grimbo when he plays in a game of mine finally. Whenever that happens. If Grimbo wants to play in a game of mine, I'll give Grimbo one of these.
It activates whenever he says, "What's a modifier?"
Yes. Again though, it's a powerful item. I would almost say that's beyond very rare.
This might be legendary, or you know what you should do? This should be an artifact. There's only one in the whole campaign.
Yeah, use it wisely. There's only one in existence. It's highly sought after. I think
my.
joining it is going to be this, the N crystal, another wondrous, minor, very rare item. This cubic pink crystal floats 3 feet off the ground. It most recently touched. Okay. Sorry, that just reading that for a second really threw off my sense of English.
Very weird, but okay.
Any dragon within 100 feet of one or more floating end crystal regains 15 HP each round. And a phantasmal beam extends between the dragon and the nearest end crystal each round the dragon heals this way. Huh?
Is this how you have to beat the Ender Dragon? This
Yeah,
is coming
it is.
from people who don't. I don't do a lot of Minecraft.
I've played. I did play a lot of Minecraft at one point. You do have to destroy the end crystal because it does heal the Ender Dragon as you're fighting it. So this is very much like tapping into the game fully. Floating end crystals have AC 17 and 1 HP. Melee attacks made against them automatically hit. When an end crystal is destroyed, it explodes, emitting a thunderous boom audible out to 300 feet. Each creature within 40 feet of it must make a DC 17 Dex saving throw. Creatures within 20 feet of the crystal have disadvantage on the save. On a failed save, a creature takes 14d6 thunder damage and is pushed 20 feet away. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much and isn't pushed. Non-magical items within the explosion's area also take the damage and, if unsecured, are pushed. So, this is very much just not an item for players.
Yeah. Before we got to the last paragraph, I was like, oh, this is just a MacGuffin you throw in your boss battle arena.
This is a layer action.
Yeah.
In an item is what this is. That being said, it's literally copy and pasting what the end crystals do in the Ender Dragon fight. Back when that I think was the final boss of Minecraft. I don't know what they've got in there now. Probably Jack Black is probably the final boss of Minecraft now. I don't even know, but this is not an item that I think is worthwhile being an item.
Yeah, this should definitely be part of someone's lair. However, I think 14d6 for something that most people are going to try to melee is a lot of damage. Because I'm assuming, listen, it's based on video game stuff. There's got to be at least 3 or 4 of them around the arena.
Oh yeah. But I don't mind it being that high of damage only because that makes the mage that wants to walk up and whack this with a staff because they know they can hit think twice. Now you have to really think about your party's composition to get rid of this thing, because you need somebody to take this thing's attention, because it's obviously not going to let you freely destroy its source of healing.
Yep. The dragon's coming for your ass.
I don't think it's a terrible item. Like I said, I just think I don't think it needs to be an item, like we both agree.
Yeah. If you want to build a dungeon around this, though, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
That tracks.
Oh, yeah. That could be cool.
And
then I see that the second page is a collection of potions that he has come up with.
A lot of them already exist.
I was going to say, I see a number. Like water breathing, leaping, healing, obviously. Resistance. Regeneration's interesting.
I do like that there are 2 different kinds of regeneration. One, you get 2 HP at the end of each of your turns, which is usually regeneration. No, regeneration is usually at the end. I'm going to say, is it at the beginning? No. But regeneration will be stopped if you take something until your next turn.
I also enjoyed the collection of poisons he put at the bottom. The spider poison, weakness, harming, slowness, and slowness poisons. I do enjoy that he created those. I know now we have poisons in D&D, the new 5 whatever.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
I like these ideas being potions that you apply to your weapon. You know
Some
what I mean?
of these,
or obviously,
like, I would never have in a game. Like, greater strength, the legendary potion, your strength score increases by 10 to a maximum of 30, and the strength score increases by 6 to a maximum of 26. Like, that's not happening.
For a minute, I don't mind. Because it's only a minute, I don't mind it. As rare as that may sound, I don't mind it. I would just say you take extreme levels of exhaustion if it was something you would not normally be able to do.
That makes sense. It's got to have some drawback for raising your stats and then bringing them back to, like, normal person right after.
Mm-hmm. Like, if you're a wizard and you need this to get your buddy out of a jam, fine. But you're gonna have to roll and take a level of exhaustion.
Oh
you know
God.
What I mean? So
roll a d6, you gain that many levels of exhaustion. But 6 is death. I know.
You shouldn't have drank that legendary strength potion. But the rest of these potions are cute. I think they're really cool ideas. Obviously, like you said, a lot of them already exist. And I do appreciate him giving rules for how ammunition and stuff like that works, because people always want to know. And that he notes splash potions, lingering potions. Now, this again gets into a very Pathfinder-y look because of the way they treat potions and splash damage and stuff. But it is cool to see how he kind of worked it in. And I like this idea. I do like this idea that he's given variants of these potions and modifiers. So
I do like the last thing here is that if you put the potion on the end, because, like, I do have, I forgot where I got them from, but glass bulb arrows I use in my campaign. Like, there's a potion basically on the end of the arrow. But he's like, yo, you're still going to get shot by an arrow. I'm like, wow, I don't even think my glass bulb arrows do that. But yeah, you're getting shot.
Yeah. But I think it's because in this case, you're getting hit by the tipped arrow versus a bulb arrow, because the bulb is exploding. There's no arrow to hit for you. Whereas in this case, the tip of the arrow has been applied with said potion or poison. So when it's sailing through, it's hitting you, and the poison's the lingering effect. It's like when you take a save against lycanthropy. Overall, I think these are a lot of cute ideas. Good job converting some of Minecraft's items into D&D stuff. I think that's a cute idea, with a lot of people liking D&D and kind of bridging that gap. I personally wouldn't use any of it because I'm not a big fan of Minecraft, but I think some of the ideas are cute, and I think they could be tweaked to be used.
I am going to use spectral ammunition for sure and make it something that pops up a lot. I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, I think one of the guys they're fighting is going to have spectral ammunition now.
Ooh.
Like, already I'm like, that guy would make sense. He's hanging out with alchemists. They would have done something to his arrows. That makes sense. And that'll scare my players too, because now they know who's being targeted.
I'm always for scaring the players. So on that note, I say take the ammunition.
Sorry, Mortal Kombat. What? Huh?
But I think we went through some pretty cool ideas and items today. Definitely the runes, I think, were the winner of the day for everything we went through.
Still, though, seriously, you have to put how these things work before you talk about them. That goes for anyone. Anybody making items, please, you have to put how they work first. You can't put it at the end. It can't be the closing statement.
The only time you can simplify that information is on a character sheet, but give the character a place where they can go and find the information. Give them some access to knowing what the hell this thing can do, so they can decide whether or not they want to use it, not get it, and then find out all of a sudden, oh, this thing shoots a fireball if I click my heels twice. Like, no, don't do that, players.
Are you sure?
Sometimes I'll do it, but most times I don't. I'll never hand a player an item with a full name and not a description. I'll say, hey, you found a sword. I'll give the description of it, but until you identify it, you won't know what it is and what it does.
And I will put out there specifically about identify. Identify, by default, rules as written, I'm pretty sure both new and old, does not stipulate that it tells you that something is cursed. Don't let your players be like, I identified it. I should know if there's a curse. No, it's hidden.
Shouldn't.
Again, something I've...
You don't need to know.
Yeah, definitely something, as you can tell, that I've argued with my players about.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit.
We actually got through everything. We went a little bit over, but that's fine because people are still here chatting with us. That's good. Green Aero would 100% do that. Yo, we found the person who did the book of nostalgia. He's making a whole book of weird ammunition. Like, mwah. That's gonna be so much fun to go through.
That might be a Patreon extra.
That might be something real fun. But for stuff that everyone has access to, why don't you guys help us figure out what topic we're going to talk about next week? So at the end of every episode, unless there's something special we're going over that like WotC just released, there's a poll and the community gets a vote on it. So if you guys are watching now, you can put in your votes. I'm going to tell you what the options are for next week. They are now in the YouTube chat, and they are also now in the Twitch chat. So the community gets one vote, and then everyone at the DM Roundtable also gets a vote. So give us what you would like to see. The poll is open for 24 hours after the stream ends. So if you watch us as a VOD, you can still participate in the poll. The community vote will be whatever has the most votes from the community. So if you're on YouTube and you're watching this later as a VOD, you can leave a comment. If you're on Twitch and you watch this within 24 hours as a VOD, you'll have to come find one of us. So come on down to the ObsCuriosity Discord. There's a link. Come on Twitter, tweet at one of us. Come tell us what you want. But the poll options for next week will be 3D prints, articles, backgrounds, feats, creatures, homework, which is kind of like a big supplement that we're going to have to read and give, like, we're just going to give you blurbs on stuff because before we've done much bigger supplements and it takes so many episodes, so we're going to have to, like, smush that.
We learn the hard way.
Yeah, we learned the hard way. But the homework assignment would be Archibald's Archive, which is a whole bunch of stuff for artificers. Then there's maps, there's races, species, subclasses, tools, and zines are the options. So put in your vote for one of those that you'd like to see us talk about and come talk with us about, for sure. We're always willing to take suggestions, so if you want to, just try to keep them to whatever the topic is that day, that stream. That would be helpful to us. Or if you want to be like, I'll give you my vote for next week's stream, and I think you should look at this, and it's tied to what your vote is. That's cool too. That's super helpful.
We wholeheartedly accept that. But folks, if you did enjoy the content that you witnessed today, Please click all the buttons. It is free to click buttons and subscribe to check out more of Okami's great content that he does release relatively, I'd say pretty frequently. I'd say he's been putting up a good weekly, sometimes even daily posts. You can always find some fun shorts that I might appear in along with other members of the Roundtable and various other members you can find in the Okami Gakure. He does stream when he can, and when his house allows him the patience and the freedom to. And as always, on a Monday night at 8 p.m., you can come hang out with myself and DM Lacara, as well as occasionally the other members of the Roundtable when they can, as we all sit down and help Okami cycle through his never-ending lists of D&D homebrew as fellow DMs.
God, there's so much.
And always happy to have you here. Always happy to have you guys here. And always happy to be here myself.
Yeah, and you can find DM Shin on YouTube and Twitch. I've seen you've been streaming on Twitch lately.
I did get new internet.
Ooh.
After battling with the internet gods, I have now my internet speed has multiplied by 10 times. So I now have true internet again, because cable providers don't like to tell you things when they do things.
No, they do not.
But yes, I will be potentially streaming this week. I might be streaming tomorrow, so do keep an eye out if you see my icon pop up. I stream at Mad Alchemy. I think that's my Twitch name. I don't know anymore.
There is a link to it in the description on YouTube.
Yeah. And I do occasionally post a lot of fighting game content. I think I'm going to be working my way into doing maybe some commentary on fighting game content, as I've been recording a lot of just matches and fun things. So you never know what's going to pop up on my channel. I just recently posted a 1st to 10 video that was just a fun post to get people to know that I'm still out here and alive. So check it out.
Alive is good.
That's my default setting. It's like I post a selfie on my Instagram every once in a while to let people know that like it's really me posting. It's not I haven't programmed an AI to like generate pictures of me yet.
Ooh, I will also say that if you're watching on YouTube and YouTube is your preferred ecosystem, what have you, you can check my posts in the community tab. I put up a poll last night asking whether you guys would rather see me release more Let's Plays that are broken up into parts and uploaded separately, or Let's Plays that are live streams first. I still plan on doing both of those things, but I want to know what to work on first. I think so far uploaded in parts is winning, which is fine by me. But please let me know what you want to see more of.
You only know that though, guys, if you subscribe. And if you get a chance, it's free. Join the Patreon.
Yeah, you can join as a free member.
There is a free tier. It gives you information on things that are popping up. You do get some visual, and there will be patron content available eventually that only patron subscribers will see. So there being a free tier, it's very possible that you guys will get to see it before YouTube does.
It's true.
So check it out.
And with that,
link will be in the bio description below.
Yeah. And with that, I think we're going to call the stream for this week quits. So remember, that poll is going to be open for 24 hours. So put in your votes if you'd like to have some input on what we look at next week. I actually don't know what I want to vote for next week.
Oh, I know what I want to vote for.
Ooh, I like hearing that. All right, those of you on Twitch, thanks for tuning in. I will publish this momentarily, so you can come in and tell your friends to go check out the VOD and then put in their votes. Bye, Twitch.
Later, Twitch family.
Bye, YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. See you.